Nigga, if you see a woman just for who she is and you don't judge her for her past and you give her humility and grace, nigga, you gonna get the pussy wet. You don't believe me? I guarantee you, just be yourself, bro. I guarantee you, give it a couple of days. A woman knows within at least a couple of minutes whether she want to fuck. Listen, smooth with it, cool with it, and just be yourself. Be your most authentic self. And when you start to connect with the woman, when you start to relate to the woman, when you start to converse with her, and you start to build that trust with her, and y'all locked in, nigga, what's happening, fellas? So, if you watched part 1, we was dealing with the basis of how to understand a woman. And if you're new to my platform, and if you're new to this series, I am doing a 5-part series for men on dealing with their male psyche, the male ego, into understanding women. And I feel like this is very important because we are living in a time where men are being programmed to turn against women. It's crazy. But I have seen a lot of propaganda out there where they are programming men to turn against women. You may have heard on social media, maybe you have heard from your homeboys or from one of your uncles, of not getting married. You shouldn't be looking for a woman. You should just focus on yourself. And then you hit 30 or 35 and then you're lonely. And it's easy to find a good time. It's easy to find a woman that you can get a little smashing and passing, all that other type of stuff. But for you to find a woman that you can resonate with, for you to find a woman that you can connect with, is hard as hell for some of y'all. Because some of y'all ain't working with y'all juju. You feel me? Like, well, I'm gonna help y'all. All right. Wrong gotcha. All right. So part 1, we was dealing with the code of clarity into understanding women without trying to control women. And just to give a summary, we was basically talking about how women are emotional beings and women should be praised for being emotional beings, and that men basically shun women and disregard women and suppress women for their emotions because they don't internally deal with their own emotions. So they have to also suppress women along with their emotions because they deem women to be weak. And we deal with everything concerning the divine feminine. We deal with everything in terms of listening to a woman and building a safe space for a woman, for her to be the best aspects of herself. In this video, and if you already watched part 1, basically, in this video we're going to be talking about deprogramming the mindset or deprogramming the psyche that religion has gave you upon the basis of women. And so we're going to be dealing with all the things that basically religion and the church has given you on how to look at a woman. All the false dichotomies, all the fallacies, all the stupid complexes, the stupid complex mentalities, conceptions that we have created around femininity and masculinity and everything that is patriarchal and is toxic. And something that I also want to give a disclaimer for is that masculinity can never be toxic. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There is only unhealed masculinity. There is wounded masculinity. No, then the same thing in regards to femininity. There is wounded femininity. There is a feminine nature to a woman where it's unhealed. But there is no such thing as toxic masculinity. So I just wanted to get that out there. Now, we are going to be dealing with 6 outlines to our subject matter. And if you listen to the past video or part 1, I'm going to be dealing with the terminologies and the basis of what do you bring to the table and what's your body count. These are topics, or these are questions that men bring up as topics into a discussion with a woman. And these are questions very toxic. You do not want to ask a woman what she brings to the table, and you definitely don't want to ask a woman up front how many bodies she got. Fellas, we're going to say it all together now. We're going to say it all together. What number does a woman pick? Hold on, don't say it now. Hold on, wait. 3, 2, 1. Exactly, 3. Doesn't matter how old she is. Most likely she will always say 3. At least when you're hitting 22 to 25, that's mostly the number that she's going to pick is 3. But even at that, you as a grown man should not be concerned about or how many men that she's been with, because she's not going to ask you how many women you've been with. Why am I confusing that? Let me say it again. A woman is not going to confuse with you, or a woman is not going to ask you how many women you've been with. And you as a grown man should never be asking a woman. You should never ask a woman how many men she's been with. Her character alone will let you know what type of woman she is. I guarantee it. Her character alone, and even asking her about how she sees certain topics, certain things in life, will let you know the type of woman that she is and how she gets around. When she tells you about her guy friend problems or her girlfriend problems or people that she be interacting with, just listen to the story. Just listen. If things don't add up, if things ain't making sense, when you start to ask questions about whether or not she was in the wrong, if she can't self-reflect on who she is as an individual, I guarantee you, if you just build the space in the arena for her to be her true self, whether toxic or whether being the best aspect of herself, she will expose herself quickly. And when she exposes herself for who she is, you have to make the decision on whether you want to be with her or whether she needs to skedaddle. But if you want her to hop on a roller coaster ride, I guess some men like to pick their poison when it's necessary. Anyways, let's get into the video, shall we? Hit the like button for me. Let me know which one of these outlines best fit you, that really resonate with you as we start to go through these. Number 1, the God-fearing man feels like that a woman is made for her. So this kind of plays off of when Apostle Paul talks about how the man isn't made for the woman, but the woman was made for the man. He makes this theological argument of a woman being silent in the church and they should only learn under their husbands. I don't even know how that's completely logical, and I could do a whole video on how I feel about Apostle Paul, but that's not the time or the place for this video. But you have a lot of these toxic theological arguments and concepts around women, especially when dealing with whether or not she should be of a certain leader role or whether or not she should have a say in A, B, or C. And I'll tell you off rip, I love when a woman can guide me to the light, when she can guide me and give me good advice and give me her wisdom. The woman or the feminine vessel is the complete persona or the epitome of wisdom. If you know about Sophia, but you have this concept in theology and in a lot of religious foundations and cults and whatever the case is. The average individual around these ideologies will deem a woman being made for him. That's how a man will see a woman. And because he sees a woman as being created for her or created for him, he sees her as property. He sees her almost in a way that is subhuman. And let me make a disclaimer that the men of God in my household are upstanding men. The men in my household and in my family are men who look out for their family, look out for their women, look out for the people that they love. So I don't want you to get it misconstrued that because I'm talking about religion and because I'm talking about the church or the foundation and the structure and corporation of how they have conditioned men, that I'm individually talking about your mother or your father or your grandfather or your uncle, people in your family. All right, if it applies, but we all know toxic and corrupt religious men like this, and we know toxic religious sectors that program these type of men to think of women like this. And so a lot of men out here who construct their lives around these ideas, especially when you're dealing with red pill, manosphere men, Hebrew Israelite men, they see a woman as being created for him and for his purpose, created for his program. And she's no more than a subordinate to him. And sick. It's really sick. And I've seen that type of structure in terms of relationship between a man and a woman is toxic as hell. Number 2, she's either Eve or Jezebel. She's either for your program or for the streets. And men love to say that they want a freak in the sheets and a lady in the streets. But you can't get that freak in the sheets until she was first once at one time in her life a freak in the streets. And she had to be a freak in the streets in order for her to be a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. And it seems like a lot of men can't get onto that concept. I never understood men who were so infatuated with whether or not she was with 4 men or 40 men because of how good she could do in bed or how good she could suck the meat off the bone, have his toes curling up. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I love sex. I love sex so much. I don't really concern myself with her past or her experiences with other men. I'm just enjoying who she is as an individual. But I've heard from different men, and I've even heard this out of the mouth of Farrakhan as well, this conception of if a woman is out there doing her thing and she's out with more than one man, he is insecure in his mind on how well he can do in bed for her. That makes no type of sense to me. I don't understand that mindset. I'm so confident in who I am as a man. I'm so confident in how I know how to please a woman that I'm not concerned with other experiences that she's had with other men. I'm not. I know what I can do in bed. I know what this mouth can do. I know what this dig and stick can do, what this dragon stabber can do. I know what the hips can do. And I'm confident in that. I know my mojo. I know my juju. I know my magic. I know what I can do. I know what it takes to bring a woman to her climax more than one time in the bedroom. If you have insecurities about what you can do for a woman, you need to get that checked. If you are so concerned about how many men she's been with, on whether he was smaller or bigger, you need to get that in check. That is the male ego causing your own demise. Getting back to the topic of discussion, there is no just the virgin or the prostitute. And I've seen this false dichotomy with a lot of religious men. They've come in my DMs or in my comment section whenever I uphold the sacred whore archetype in a woman. And they'll be like, do you want a woman ran through by the football team? Or do you want a modest woman that can raise your kids properly? And it's like, those are that's not just the end all be all to a woman. There are so many different archetypes and personas and characters that go along with who a woman is and who a woman can present herself as. You can't just go to 2 different spectrums. She's either a virgin or she's either a prostitute. I don't understand that for the life of me. And you must understand that a woman is a human. That might be a controversial thing to say in 2025, but a woman is a human. She has feelings. She has emotions. She has a right to have experiences with other men. She has a right to experience other things with other men and other people in her life. She has a right to accept failure and also accept success and also go through certain things in life to build her character into who she is today, no more than you as a man. And people will try to make this argument of men and women are different. Yes, but men and women aren't different to the basis of where you can have your fun life and you can be joyous and you can interact with anybody and everybody, and yet she has to stay home and learn how to be a good wife for you. That doesn't because you're out here having fun with women. You're out here having a good time with other women, but the woman that you want her to be sheltered, and you want a woman that you can only groom and can mold into who you want to be. Question: if you love a freak, and if also you love to turn a woman into a freak, but you want this woman that you're molding into a freak to not be out there in the streets and messing with other men, what type of woman are you grooming her into? I can't hear you. What type of freak are you grooming her into? What type of freak are you molding her into? Are you molding her into a woman that has already had experiences with other women that you've had experiences with? You're molding her into a fantasy of a woman that you've probably already had run up and done up and spun up on dozens of times. You want your woman to be like the woman that you should have already cuffed and you should have already had a relationship with, but they told you to go for the nice Puritan lady. But what if the nice Puritan lady don't want to get on her knees? What if the nice Puritan lady don't like it how you like it? Now you miserable. You should have just went with the girl that you loved that could do everything right for you, that could cook well for you. She might have a little mouth on her, but you could have worked with that. But no, society has taught you to go for the Puritan, the woman of God. Now she's causing you a headache. Now you don't be getting it like how you used to. You was all good for those first couple of months, and now she's holding back from you. She's stressing you out, you stressing her out, and so now the whole environment and the space that y'all have created for one another is ass. 2 packs of ass. That's sad as hell. Leading on to number 3. This whole basis of wanting a Proverbs 31 wife. And basically just plays off of, I apologize, my phone was supposed to unlock. Number 3, basically going around wanting a Proverbs 31 wife. And basically this scripture just lists what a woman should be like for her man. In the Bible, it tells you that a man who has found a good wife has found a good thing. I think that's a very problematic verse, because a woman should never be considered a good thing. She should always be considered a wonderful being, a good woman. A good wife should be a good woman, not a good thing. But in this theological idea and conception around who the woman is supposed to be, she is subhuman in a way, because she wasn't made like Lilith. Lilith was made equally along with Adam. Eve was made from the rib of Adam. And on top of that, when they both supposedly sinned against God, she was given this curse of having a man rule over her, because she can no longer be trusted. So she has to learn, be guided, and be a subordinate and subservient under the rulership and the authority of a man. And this story has been pushed on for centuries to condone misogyny, to condone sexism, to condone the suppression of women and femininity. And so that leads us on to number 4, women being deemed as the weaker vessel. And before we get off on 3 though, Proverbs 31 for a wife. And if y'all want me to do a deconstruction of Proverbs 31, I would love to do that, because I think that's something that hasn't really been done before, deconstructing Proverbs 31, because a lot of women look to Proverbs 31, especially in the church, for who they should be. But it's not talking about how a woman should be. It's talking about how a woman should be for her man. And what a lot of Christian men will love to do, and they come in my DMs all the time about this, is like, well, Bible implies that we should love our women and we should love our wife like the church, or how Jesus loved the church. And then the third, and it's like, when they do what you say, love your wife, love your woman when she is your subordinate. Love your woman, love your wife when she is submissive. Lord forbid you would run into a Jezebel. You can't handle a Jezebel. Lord forbid you run into a Lilith. You can't handle a Lilith. No, you need all just good and innocent, and good and innocent and quiet Eve. Good and naive Eve. That's what you need. But getting on to number 4, women are deemed as the weaker vessel, because she bleeds, because she's emotional, because she gives birth, because she's a woman that is supposedly irrational, because she thinks with her intuition at times. She thinks with her heart at times. And the man thinks with his head, and sometimes his other head at times. The man deems the woman as being lesser than, because she doesn't have the maximum strength like he does. But like I was talking about in the first video, the woman oftentimes leads with her emotions. Emotions is not always a bad thing, especially when you have emotional intelligence and you know how to dissect her emotions. You don't just immediately discard her emotions. You validate them. You analyze them. That's what men do. But to deem the woman as the lesser vessel, and this is what it says this in the Bible as well, the woman being the lesser vessel to a man, it justifies the male ego. It justifies how a man can control and condition a woman to doing and being who he wants her to be, in the positive or the negative. Leading on to number 5, a woman should submit to a man. And this is the misuse of the hierarchy. And if a man is supposed to lead a household, if a man is supposed to lead his woman, it should never be she should submit to her man because she's a woman. Never. A woman should never submit to a man because he's a man and she's a woman. If that is the case, you're already off track. A woman should submit to a man because he has given her the space, he has given her the security to trust him to guide, or to trust him to guide her in the family. It should never be, oh, these are just our roles in the relationship. Yes, a man should lead in a relationship. A man being the head leader and provider and the person to get the last say so over the family because he is the protector and provider for the household. We understand the masculine and the divine feminine roles in this dynamic. But a woman should never just submit to a man because he's a man. Submission should be earned, never demanded. A woman submits to a man when she feels safe around him. A woman submits to a man when she is attracted to him. A woman submits to a man when he caters to her and understands the vision that he has. And even if she doesn't understand the vision all the time, she still feels safe around him. She knows that at the end of the day, he will do what is necessary for her and their family. You don't need to lead with an iron fist. She would not respect you that way. She will more so fear you than respect you. And you're never going to get the doonies up. You're never going to get that cat wet by ruling with an iron fist. Just the masculine presence alone around a woman can get her in check. You ever seen a woman look at you with complete, I'm talking about lust and love and consideration and just everything mixed together all in a bunch? She just over there just flicking her eyes at you. I want you to pick me up, have your way with me. Some women will literally look at you like that when you present good leadership, when you set the example, when you are a good father, when you are a good provider, when you are a good husband or a good boyfriend or a good partner. She gonna get that pussy wet. If I beat that pussy up, is you gonna tell on me? If I beat that pussy up, is you gonna tell on me? Girl, I gotta know, yeah. Sorry, you had to see that. Leading on to number. Well, we were on number 5. We down to the last one. We doing good. Number 6. Her value is in her modesty. This is something that the church will often say because they don't deem a woman who has had those experiences outside in the world to be of any value. This is what I was talking about in terms of asking a woman about her body count or asking a woman what she brings to the table, because it's almost as if you're trying to interview her. It's almost as if you're trying out a product. It's like, she is human. I hope you understand that. Like I was saying before, a woman has emotions. She has desires. She can think for herself. She has a brain. She has everything that you have other than a penis. That might be controversial to say in 2025. Nonetheless, yes, her value is in more than just how she presents herself to a man. Her value is in more than just what she should do for you. Her value is in more than just how she should cover up and convey herself to you and meet your needs. Her value is in her spirit. Her value is in her presence as a human being, as a divine spiritual being as well. A woman should be able to express herself however she may see fit. And it is you as a man to be internally judgmental, not external, but you make the judgment within yourself on whether or not this woman can match you or unmatch you. Whether she can build with you and you build with her, or whether she will tear down everything that you have been building for the last 10, 20, 30 years of your life. But you got to make that decision. And every woman is not going to be the fitting puzzle for you. I hope you understand that. So just because a woman might be a little more promiscuous than the average individual, she might be a little more cranky or crazy than the average individual. She might be a little more assertive than the average individual, might be a little more goofy, a little more innocent or a little more soft-hearted than the average woman. Doesn't make her good or bad. It's just about what fits for you. Some men like a little feistiness in their women. Some men do, you know? So every woman is going to be different for the average man. It's just about who you can build with and who you can connect with and who you can trust. And even when you meet her of how she is today, that is not the end product. You can look at a woman, and I've had these experiences before, where you can talk to women and you can converse with women and y'all start to build a connection or a relationship, and you start to see different things in her. You start to see her personality spark up. You start to see how she interacts with people. It starts to be a little differently. You might have met her and she was quick tempered, very quick to anger, very quick to cuss somebody out. But then she gets around you and you might be nonchalant. You might be a little more peaceful. You might be a little more well-minded. And so she starts to take up after you because you presented that light to her. She might have been out here around town thugging with her rounds, but then when she sees your life and how you have catered the peace in your life and you ain't got all these different people up on a roster and you can actually be content in being by yourself, she might take up after that and be like, you know what? I don't really need a roster. You know what? I don't really need to be around all these men all the time and be a party animal. You could present that to her. But if you don't present the space, not just for a relationship, but a friendship, just getting to know people, and you just build that arena. You have that aura to you to where you don't even allow people to even talk down on you. You don't even allow people that even when they talk about you, it don't even move you. You just move with a certain aura. You move with a certain character. You move with a certain light about yourself that it will inspire others to also walk in their light. Maybe that's what it means in the Bible when it talks about let your light so shine that men may see your good works and glorify the Father, supreme consciousness that is in heaven, in the mind. That's all it's talking about. You can do you could do so much more in life, presenting love, kindness, patience, joy, humility, grace to a woman than trying to preach the word to her, than trying to shun her and condemn her. A lot of y'all are like walking Pharisees. I don't know if I used this example in part 1, but you have to start walking like Christ. You have to start having that Christ consciousness, that Christ energy, to where you can talk to Sukihana at the well. You can have Sexy Red crying at your feet and she's washing your feet with her hair. When you have Glorilla and her girls crying for you as you're taking up your trials and tribulations and labors and carrying your cross, to where these women can minister to you and help you on your ministry, and they can respect you for who you are just because of the love and dedication that you have for them. That's what it means to be a light to the world. You can't be a light to the world carrying on trauma. You can't be the light to the world carrying on religious trauma and all these different things that you want to throw at people and judge them and tell them how they're bad and they're going to hell and therefore the streets and all these different things. You're not going to change anybody with that. You're not, buddy. You're not. I'm sorry. You're not going to change anybody with that. If you start speaking to women how Jesus was speaking to women, I guarantee you're going to have pussy falling out of the palms of your hands. You're going to be so much in your hands. It's just going to be, I'm telling you. And I know that's not the end goal for connecting with women. I'm just, come on, take a joke. I'm just saying, if you just learn how to cater to women and how to connect with women, and you can actually see them for who they are, not as a lesser vessel, not as an inferior being, not as your rib, which is terrible, not your side piece, but an actual individual that you can connect with, you can go so far with a woman. Because if you start to present yourself like that to a woman, she starts to reassess herself. She starts to be like, wow, he stands out from any other man that I've ever met. Wow, I never had a man that really appreciated me for who I am, just for being there for him. I didn't even have to get on my knees. I didn't have to do this, that, and the third for him. I didn't have to show him my titties. I had to do all that. And don't get me wrong, I'm a titty man at heart. Don't get me wrong, I like some ass here and there. Don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted. But when you can just build the arena and the haven and the space for her to just be herself, she gonna jump on you, bro. When you're just really cool and chillax, you ain't really studying her. When she be like, oh, don't think you're gonna be getting some. That was never my intention to begin with. I'm just trying to have a good time with you. We're just trying to chill. Nigga, that's gonna get her fucking wet. She's like, what? This nigga don't want me just for my pussy? No, I gotta give him my pussy. I gotta give this nigga my pussy. I might be over exaggerating, but more likely than not, when you're somebody who is not, I'm literally like, you just chilling, you just being yourself, and maybe you get a little touchy here and there. You gotta read her body language so that you know when to move when she wants you to move. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. She's not gonna just tell you. You gotta start reading the. Come on, bro. You know what I'm talking about. For those who know, I got stories, bro. People be trying to underestimate me all because I be talking about the whole. Listen, the hoes beyond your boy. That's all I'm saying. But hopefully you enjoyed this part 2. I had to re-record this because I did not like the first one. I feel like I didn't even give really much personality. I was watching that. I'm like, nigga, I will fall asleep to this. What the hell? But anyways, I hope you just really enjoyed this podcast. I hope that you enjoyed. Speaking of podcasts, I need to put together my podcast. I apologize. That will be coming very soon. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Part 3 will be coming tomorrow. Alright. Oh, it most definitely will not be coming back tomorrow. I am sorry. I thought I could do this every single day, but it's just been plummeting it back on me from me doing the reels. I do this all by myself. Alright, I'm a one-man band. I'm sorry. I might have to do this maybe every other 2 to 3 or 4 days. Alright? I'm just saying. Let's continue. But if you haven't seen part 1 is right here. It's right here. You don't want to listen. You don't want to miss that one. Watch it. Get a pen and paper and watch it. You won't regret it. Hit the video. Hit the like. Hit the video. I'll see you there.